Excellent. All right. Good afternoon, everybody. This is Derek Lukowitz. I'm the marketing lead here at the Dynas Group. I'd like to welcome you to our this afternoon's Lunch and Learn event. We'll be still waiting for a couple of folks to join, so I guess hang tight, and we'll get things started in just a minute. But in the meantime, I'm going to start a great little customer testimonial video that I found earlier this week. I thought was really cool. So I'm going to get that going for you, and then we'll get the show started.
Well, STI was founded a little over 25 years ago. We are a provider of fire stopping solutions. We service the electrical, data, and construction industries with innovative products and the top-rated UL systems available today.
STI was a long-time user of Sage Mass 500. The product was built on older platform. It was due for retirement. We were looking for an up-and-comer that had a product that was built on a more current platform, that was easy to customize, that was flexible for us to use going forward.
Sage Mass 500's financial reporting, you couldn't possibly customize. It would take you forever to run it and export it to Excel and use it.
I see Acumatica as a foundation for us to be able to grow our business. It'll allow us to be able to use it in the office through the web-based interface. It'll also support our sales and our remote people through the mobile.
One of the reasons why we chose Acumatica is that we thought it was the easiest ERP solution that we saw out there.
Acumatica was very easy for us to use and to learn, and it allowed for us to set up automation processes and workflows that are efficient and eliminate the need for additional paperwork and filing cabinets.
Acumatica works very well with third-party software. Tableau is our reporting solution, and the integration to our data warehouse with Acumatica is outstanding. Also, EDI, Mapadoc software, running with a virtual network on SPS Commerce. We see that as a great way to bring on new transactions and new customers onto that platform.
The reporting in Acumatica is so flexible. I can interchange units and columns and rows, and it's eliminating hours and hours worth of work in preparing those financial statements.
One of the new things that we've incorporated into our ERP is Manufacturer Resource Planning, or MRP. Our older system did not fully support it the way we run our business. We've brought all our planners into Acumatica. They're now proactively planning all of our manufacturing and subsequent deliveries within our system.
We're no longer putting out fires. We are preventing the fires from happening. That's been a very huge improvement.
One of the things that's impressed me is every time we've had an issue, someone from Acumatica has always jumped in and saved the day.
I highly recommend Acumatica for any type of company who is going through a transformation and looking to grow their business.
Acumatica is going to bring specified technologies into the next generation of technology and assist us in growing the business the way we plan to.
Wanted to welcome you all to today's presentation, and thanks again for taking the time to join us. As I mentioned earlier, I'm Derek Lukowitz, and joining me today is Jay Forrest and Bob Donald. We're excited to show you the Acumatica software and introduce you to the company if you haven't already had the pleasure of doing such. First things first, though, I just have a couple of housekeeping items that I wanted to go through with you guys. So. So today's we're going to be recording today. So that said, I've got everybody placed on mute. You still have the ability to interact with us by asking questions in the question box, or obviously raise your hand via the GoToWebinar interface. So we'll be potentially use that as an opportunity to interact with one another in these otherwise virtual meetings. So ask any questions that you've got. We'll definitely get to those at the end of the day. All right, so let's take a quick look at the agenda, and then we can just get the party started from there. So as you can see, Jay will be taking you through a bit of about Donna's group, as well as run through a few slides on Acumatica and some of the key points of their software solution. He'll then hand off to Bob, who will run you through the overview demonstration of Acumatica's features and functions for manufacturing specifically. And when Bob's wrapped, I'll jump back on and run through your questions and close out our meeting with some takeaways and such. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and switch things over to Jay, and we'll get the rest of the presentation going. All right, Jay, take it away.
Thank you, Derek. Thank you, everyone, for attending today. Since 1996, the Donnas Group has been working with a wide variety of customers in many industries, including manufacturing customers. We attribute our longevity to our commitment to staying current with technologies and certifications. This has allowed us to support and service our customers and develop long-term relationships. Developed for resilient businesses, Acumatica Cloud ERP is the most usable, adaptable, and affordable business management solution available today. Built for mobile and telework scenarios, it easily integrates with the collaboration tools of your choice. Acumatica delivers flexibility, efficiency, and continuity of operations to growing small and mid-market organizations. Acumatica has always been in the forefront of digital transformation. Digital transformation consists of using new, fast, and frequently changing technology to solve business problems. This is what Acumatica has been doing for over a decade now. However, modern technology is not all it takes. You must continually update your people and processes through education, training, etc. Technical through utilizing innovative platform and software, people through training and education program offerings such as Acumatica's Open University. Here are some Acumatica customer comments. You'll notice the digital transformation theme is key to success in many of the testimonials. The future-proof platform was developed by Acumatica and is one of the world's best cloud and mobile technology offerings. This development platform has been chosen by many software developers, and it allows for rapid deployment of new functionality within the product and keeps your investment truly future-proof. Open architecture provides ease and rapid integration with many of today's popular add-ons, as you can see here. Acumatica is tailor-made for mid-market growth businesses. The scalable, intuitive tools give you one solution to run your entire business, delivering automation without complexity, compliance without rigidity. In addition, intelligent, industry-focused business functionality with the mission-critical capabilities and productivity aids round out the product. Today's session will focus on the manufacturing edition. We will focus on other editions in future Lunch and Learn sessions. Manufacturing edition provides planning and control of the manufacturing environment. Core products, bills of materials, production orders, and MRP are the cornerstone of the manufacturing package. Optional estimating and product configurator allow fine-tuning your manufacturing to meet customer needs. Acumatica is designed to work with many production environments depending upon business demand requirements. Customer requirements often dictate how the production process is driven. Project-centric allows tracking all activity and costs from revenue through expenses to provide details to analyze project performance and profitability. Here you see many manufacturing environments where Acumatica supports. Acumatica workspaces are focused around applications and grouped by activities within transactions, profiles, processes, inquiries, etc., to easily locate what you need to accomplish. Tiles on the top allow for quick access to functionality. Bill of material incorporates both bills and routings that addresses materials and activities required and provide a complete picture for manufacturing. The Acumatica mobile application is built with responsive adaptive design, which automatically resizes the screens to fit the available space of your smart device. The mobile application interacts in real time with your Acumatica software, keeping all activities current. Out of the box, generic inquiries and changeable no-code custom reports are very robust and can handle most reporting needs. However, more advanced or alternative approaches are also available should you require through independent software vendors or ISVs. With internet availability, you can connect to your system with many of today's interactive devices. Whether desktop, smartphone, laptop, or even Alexa, you can access and work from the location of your choice. From core products through industry additions, Acumatica is the only ERP system that can seamlessly move across any or all of these modules in a single uninterrupted workflow. The modern user interface and flexible workflows are why Acumatica is consistently ranked high in usability by a number of IT analysts, including Nucleus Research. Leading research firm IDC, who focuses in the tech landscape, has named Acumatica a leader in mid-market ERP over other well-known offerings. John Roscoe, CEO of Acumatica, attributes this to the investment that Acumatica has made in delivering a product that is innovative and high on customer usability scale. In the 10+ years of Acumatica's existence, they have averaged 700 customers a year, or about 2 a day. Acumatica is committed to customer success. Acumatica's Net Promoter Score, NPS, is quite commendable. The Net Promoter Score gauges the loyalty of a firm's customer relationships and ranges between -100 and +100. A +50 is considered excellent. Examples of other companies are Starbucks comes in at 45 and Coca-Cola comes in at a +8. NPS and Acumatica's high support satisfaction are why Acumatica is the fastest growing cloud ERP company. Around 92% of Acumatica installs are within the cloud. Acumatica partners with Amazon Web Services, AWS, and Microsoft Azure. This is because they are considered the best cloud platforms in the world. They demonstrate unparalleled robust uptime and provide automatic geo-redundancy with your data being securely backed up to multiple locations in the country and even across the globe. Unlike other ERP offerings, Acumatica has multiple deployment options to meet your organization's requirements. They include software as a service, or SaaS, which is hosted in the cloud and is offered on a subscription basis. AWS is Acumatica's preferred public cloud platform. Private cloud is also subscription-based. Here you host the application where you want, whether it be on-premise or at a third party. The third option is the perpetual traditional method, and here you purchase the software up front and pay an annual maintenance fee. You have the ability to move between options should you require. There's no per seat premium, so your technology can scale with your business instead of being a drag on your growth. Every authorized person can access, create, and receive the information they need to drive business, regardless of whether they are frequent or casual users, internal employees, external vendors, partners, or customers. With Acumatica's flexible consumption-based licensing plans, You only pay for the computing power you need. Our pricing is designed to be stable and predictable, geared to your growth. Acumatica is extremely robust in terms of security. The physical security at Amazon Web Services data center, along with role-based access within Acumatica, provide the secure access individual users need. Two-factor authentication provides added security measures within Acumatica should you choose to utilize it. Unlike other ERP vendors who lock you into their data center, Acumatica lets you decide where to host your data, on the public cloud, in a private cloud, or on-premise. With Acumatica, your data is always secure and always in your hands. You can do a full relational database export at any time, not just flat files like others. You also have the ability to take it anywhere you desire. Acumatica believes that the more everyone knows about the system, the better and more complete the information provided. Open University is a free, comprehensive online training program. User guides are for self-paced learning. Job aids provide step-by-step how-to instructions. Training is not a profit center for Acumatica, as it is for many, if not all, of our competitors. And now I will pass the presentation over to Bob, who will provide a manufacturing overview of the product. Take it away, Bob.
Thank you, Jay. I'd like to welcome you to our Acumatica Lunch and Learn for Manufacturing. I'm very excited to walk you through this overview of the Manufacturing Edition. The Acumatica Manufacturing Edition is comprised of 3 core modules: Bills of Material, Material Requirements, Planning, and Production. The Bills of Material acts as a basis for production where we capture cost, material, labor, and then we use that bill during the production cycle. We will cover these modules during today's demonstration. Acumatica also provides optional modules for a manufacturing edition. If your business requires a product configurator that is both rules-based and includes a pricing roll-up as well as estimating module, this is the product for you. Additionally, we offer advanced planning and scheduling, which would provide finite capacity planning and scheduling as well as shop floor data collection and project management. In addition, we also offer full engineering control and project manufacturing. Picture this as a common Acumatica manufacturing workflow. You can see that in a make-to-order scenario, we might start with a sales order and move it into a production order. Or, of course, a make-to-stock, we would simply start with the production order and move it into stock. We also support engineer-to-order, configure-to-order, job shop repetitive, and beyond. This visual highlights how the labor, purchasing, and inventory are all integrated throughout the seamless manufacturing workflow, which we will take a look at together. Acumatica supports multiple manufacturing environments, which include things like make-to-stock, engineer-to-order, make-to-order, configure-to-order, job shops, project-centric, repetitive, and batch. I will then move to Acumatica. It logged me out. Sorry about that. I had the system timeout on me. There we are. Acumatica is a browser-based ERP running in the cloud. It is supported by all major browsers in use today. We are a completely role-based system, so each one of the users that access Acumatica has security-driven permissions. Every person who logs into the software, and as Jay mentioned earlier, this is an unlimited number of people logging into the system, are assigned a role. All security within the software is then controlled by these roles. Since it is in the cloud, That means your data is accessible to you and your staff anywhere you have an internet-capable device and an internet connection. The system is designed to be configurable. The whole idea was to minimize using a programmer to customize the look and feel of the product. Changes can be made fast with no code changes whatsoever. These changes can then be tied to a role or an individual. So the changes that are made for, Bob in accounting would not be the same as Judy over in purchasing. They have their own unique screens which follow them as they log into the system. This is a multi-company, multi-currency product. In my example, I have 3 companies and 2 branches. Everything you're seeing today is standard Acumatica right out of the box with no customization or third-party products. That being said, there's a huge community of ISVs or independent software vendors that provide additional functionality to the base software. EDI is a perfect example of an ISV product. We also organize our software based on the concept of workspaces. So over on the left side, you will see these different menu items and they're grouped together by the different business process areas. Before I move into those, I would like to bring up the fact that within our package, which makes us unique, is our universal search. So if I go up to the search bar, for instance, and I type in 1099, it comes back and tells me that it would have to be 1099. It comes back and tells me all the menu items that have 1099 as part of it. If there are any transactions or profiles, it would bring those up for me as well, which it just did. Or under our help topic system, which is extensive throughout the system, it'll bring up all the help topics associated with the 1099. And if there are any files that were needing to be sent out, it would actually show those files waiting in a queue to be going out of the system. And here's the help topics. So going back to the workflow, if I'm in the purchasing workspace, for example, and you're on the purchasing team, you're very likely to spend the majority of your time in what we call the purchasing workspace. These workspaces have a very intuitive design. We try and categorize transactions in one, like in this case, requisitions, reports, printed forms, in another example. It's very easy to modify these workspaces and make them your own. For example, if there are just a few of the purchasing reports that you use on a daily basis, maybe just the top 4, let's see, I'm looking here, all I have to do is check boxes to indicate which reports I would like to see available. This is what they call the quick menu, which is all the items that you've decided that you need to see as soon as you enter this item. If I go to the full menu, you'll see that it lists all of the different reports that are available to me, as well as some of the other options that were on the screen. We want you to be able to personalize your ERP experience without needing to call up a developer or pay money anytime you'd like to make these changes. Workspaces are one example of that usability and personalization. You'll also see that Acumatica gives you the ability to determine what are your favorites that you use over and over again. This is a common example of usability. So let's say I'm on the finance team and I'm constantly entering transactions or running a profit and loss statement. I can select those 2 menu items as favorites, and you'll notice I've got a little gold star by one and one here. I've already flagged them as favorites. One more time, personalizing the system based upon the user, because if I go over to my favorites, under finance, those are the 2 items that I selected. Front and center on the screen, as you've probably noticed, we're looking at the Acumatica dashboard. Now, software companies are known for throwing around buzzwords like real-time and business intelligence. But what is business intelligence, and what can the power of real-time business intelligence do for your organization? Well, we really think it's more than just running a report. We think it's about having multiple strategies and tools at your fingertips to help you analyze your data the way you want to. A dashboard is one critical example of that. When we talk about the connected workspace, when we talk about usability, dashboards provide notifications, reminders, and tasks to each one of the users inside the Acumatica. It is your access to the single truth. I'm going to go over to the production manager dashboard. And it gives me access to real-time information that I can drill down into for any of this information on the screen. Each one of these are actually an individual report which can be added, moved, or I can add new reports to it as well. So of course I can see here production orders that are late, what orders need to be released, top variances for the month. Not only am I getting these grand totals, but like I mentioned, we can drill down into the information and see what those 19 orders are that need to be started or that are overdue, and I can drill right into any one of them to begin the manufacturing process. Beyond just being able to drill into that data, we also have different types of dashboard tools that will allow you to filter down on your data. So when I'm looking at this production view, I'm seeing all of the orders that are late. These are the type of features that allow Acumatica to be awarded as one of the most user-friendly ERPs that exist today. Beyond being able to utilize these dashboard analytics, we also want you to be able to design these dashboard analytics. So one more time, without needing to call a developer, I can simply design this dashboard. I can start to move items around. If I just drop into the design mode, I can move any widget that I see here, I can move around on the screen. I can resize them, and I can add completely new data. I can go ahead and create new data here as well. One of the examples of how Acumatica provides a true user-friendly ERP to make these types of dashboard changes without needing to learn extensive coding or extensive programming to do so. Now, behind each and every one of these dashboard tiles is a very critical differentiator for Acumatica. Each one of these dashboard tiles is driven by what we call a generic inquiry. And if I go into the late production order, for instance, this allows me to bypass the need to create custom reports every time. All I did, in this case, it was late production orders. I told the system, and I'll bring up the filter here. I said the criteria for the report was the order it's all plain English, does not equal closed, does not equal completed, does not equal canceled, and is less than today. Simply by doing that, I've defined my late orders. So when I take a look at this generic inquiry, I can get information and I look at all of the possibilities for it. In this example, I have filtered the inquiry based on certain conditions, which I showed you in the filter. As you see, it's very intuitive and easy to do inside Acumatica, constantly giving the user the power to create their own analytics and make their own decisions based on the data that is being presented to them. Keeping on this concept of a very user-friendly ERP, you will see throughout Acumatica that we've provided you the ability to modify columns, modify fields, etc. So from this generic inquiry that I'm looking at, maybe the status column is the most important. So let me find the status column. I can just drag it and move it to the front, and it's now starting at the report. It's very simple drag and drop. Same thing if there are columns on the screen that I'm not actually utilizing, I can move those out of my view. So if I wanted to, I could click on the little icon and it'll show me all of the screens, all of the headings that are in use or available to use. What it shows here is on the left-hand column, these are ones that are available for me to add to my report, and on the right are ones that are being in use. To get rid of a column, all I have to do is click it, hit the arrow, and send it back. It's not a permanent change, only for my login ID, and I can change it back at any time. Again, it's allowing the user to have an easier look and feel and be more efficient in how they're using the data. So going back to the dashboard, go to the production manager. We talked a lot about dashboard notifications, but I think notifications are another very important piece of Acumatica to bring into consideration. Besides the dashboard notifications, which we're seeing in all these reports, we can also provide automatic email notifications. Every time a support case is assigned, for instance, it can send an email. Every time an order is started, it can also send an email with the case number or work order number embedded in that message so that the person who receives it can click on it and go directly to that document. We can also have the ability to send push notifications and text messages to mobile devices. So in that case, we can send a text to somebody in the field. Let's say a new prospect is entered into the system. it can actually then, as a rule, say every time a new prospect is entered, send a text to the sales manager. He would then see, no matter where he is, he would get a text on his phone saying that a new lead came in, and he could actually then click on it and access the data within Acumatica from wherever he's at. Acumatica Cloud ERP provides dashboard and business intelligence for every department and role within the organization. This is an example of the manufacturing dashboard, where I can keep an eye on things like late production orders, top WIP values, and assemblies that need to be built. Each one of these dashboard tiles allows me to drill down to receive information for that particular area. From here, I'm going to go directly into the bill of material. So let's take a look at a bill of material. I'm going to use the first one here. We're making the finished good, it happens to be a printed circuit board. Acumatica does fully support revisions as well as storing revision history. If needed, we also have full engineering control, change control in the process. In the center of the screen, you'll see that we have operations. This is what people would call the routing or the process sheet. This is all the departments that the item has to walk through. On the bottom half of the screen are the item breakdown of the bill of material itself. In our final example, final assembly required, you can see each one of these operations take place at a different work center or cost center. At that work center, you can define a standard labor rate, set up machines, etc. And again, at the bottom of the screen, I start to capture the materials that are required to build this finished good. These materials could also be sub-assemblies with their own unique bills of material. Beyond just the materials with their quantities and unit of measure, we can start to inform the shop floor workers about the different tests that they may need to perform at that operation. If I go to the Steps tab, for instance, on that operation 10 up there, it says, please place resistors as shown on drawing. You can have unlimited text, you can have drawings, you can have videos, anything with a Microsoft supported file layout will go into here. Documents can be stored and attached inside Acumatica at both the line level and the document level. Tooling and overhead costs can be defined here on the bill of material as well. I'm going to use this bill now, and I'm going to create a production order for part AMPCB. One of the things within the system, all of the fields have type ahead capability. So as I start typing, it tries to find everything. Here's my part. I'm going to default to have a quantity of 1. Acumatica can reference the timing entered for each operation in the bill of material to come up with a start and an end date for the order, or we can utilize fixed manufacturing lead time if you prefer. That would be considered all the information that's considered here over on the right. I'm going to save this record. On my event history tab, it provides a complete audit trail throughout the life of the production order, telling me every step that's occurred and what's happened to it and when. Notice that it shows the creation of the order, and the status flag is now set to planned. I'm going to go to Actions, and I'm going to release this order. You'll notice that it just added a new line to my event history for the release status, and if you look at the status code, it now says released. So in other words, we're done planning and we're ready for this to head to the shop floor. I will see that in real time, a new line appears showing the status change. The total tab on my production order gives me visibility to my job costs. On the left-hand side, I can see everything that we planned based on the bill of material. How much labor, how much material, how much overhead costs will go into this particular order. As we go and actually perform the work on the shop order, we start to see that these costs appear in our actual column. Notice right now they're completely all zero. We can collect shop floor data through scanning devices or having our employees enter their time and material entries on the back end. We can also backflush labor and materials in Acumatica based on reporting of production. On the right-hand side, you'll see we'll be able to measure your production variance for all of your orders along the way. At this point in the process, I can use Acumatica to look into my material availability. If I go into inquiries and critical material, it'll come back and tell me all the materials that I need to purchase in order to accommodate this production order. You'll notice that there's two. I could also use the material requirements planning module to do just-in-time inventory purchasing and planning as well. I'm going to select the lines and purchase them. Here we are, we're creating the purchase order to fulfill the demand for this production order, and this is the purchase order that we just created. Here we have an example of an approval workflow in Acumatica. This particular environment that I set up states that any purchase that comes into the system requires approval. I will go ahead and move this through the approval process today, and we can receive the purchase order line and I'll be adding my vendor reference. So the first thing I'll do is take it off a hold, actions, and approve. Now I've added some additional steps here, but I wanted to show the way that the workflow will work within the system. And now I'm going to receive him. And I need to put in a vendor reference number. So at this point, we know that all the needed components are available to make the production order. So if I go back to my production order, I'm going to do actions, release material. Oops. Okay. Once I've done that, when I get back to my production order, if I go to my totals, I'll see that what my planned was, actual, and my variance. Let's see if it'll let me release the material now. Nope. If you're backflushing material, by the way, this step would be skipped because this would be called material issues. As I release the material transaction, I'll also call your attention to the Acumatica does support, we fully support serial numbers and lot numbers cradle to grave for both components and finished goods. Back on the production order, I'll go back to the production order. If I go to my totals, we'll see that the material that was planned, the material that was issued to the job, it gives me my total variances. We also see that the status has been changed. Now, in this case, I happen to flag it to complete. And at this point, we could actually still add labor to it from the employees. If they wanted to, they could enter timesheets or scan, clock in, clock out on scanning devices, Or again, you could backflush the labor as well, as I said earlier, and the transaction would occur as you report production. A move transaction says we've completed one operation and we're moving to the next. So in our example, if we are to complete or move out of this final operation, that will indicate to Acumatica that our work here has been completed since the total quantity on the job and the final operation have been performed. As I release that move transaction, we will see that the status of the production order has now been changed to completed, which I've already done. The finished good is now available to sell. Finally, I'd like to spend a moment taking a look at the Acumatica Material Requirements Planning, or MRP. On this MRP display screen, we're seeing Acumatica calculating all of the different action dates where we think you need to take action in order to meet your demand just in time. Acumatica MRP is looking at manufacturing lead time, vendor lead time, sales forecasts, reorder points, safety stock, and then the result is on this sent to the screen. If we want to read this top line, for example, we know that for production order number 15, there's a circuit board component that is going to need to be purchased. We'll need to take action by the 21st if we would like to have it for the promised date of the 12th. From this screen, I can also purchase directly from inventory. That concludes my portion of the overview on the manufacturing side. What I would like to bring up is the fact that as from the manufacturing side, it is cloud-based. You can collaborate internally across the entire supply chain. It's all the data is real time. There are no updates waiting to be run. This reduces operational and administrative costs. Increased productivity. There's some automation involved, and my favorite one is the mobility, because basically anytime you're in the field, be it field service or just people in the field needing to know what's going on, the sales guy can know what's going on. They're automatically updated on their device. And on that, I'll give it back to Derek.
All right, great job, Bob. I am going to, in the interest of time, so we've only got a couple minutes left, I'm going to go ahead and skip the questions. There were a couple that came in, but we'll just respond to you guys offline after the presentation and just kind of go into the next. The Adonis Group prides itself on being your trusted advisor and partner. So, as such, we try to provide a lot of original content to you guys, and as well as some resources that'll help you guys just help manage your business, right? We don't want to be in your space all the time, but we want to be a known resource for those types of things. So, that said, a couple of last minute next steps for you guys or for just things to consider. If you'd like a little more customized demonstration, feel free to give us a shout and we can talk to you guys about what that looks like for your particular business and your particular needs. You guys should be on, if you're here, we'll already be subscribing you to our newsletter. So I guess keep that in mind as it comes out every other week with some fresh content. And same thing goes with just keeping that content fresh on Adonis, on their blogs and such, as well as social media avenues. And also please stay tuned for additional lunch and learns and webinar events. Obviously we just stepped back here in the Chicagoland area, but as we are able to meet more in person again, we'll be doing more of these events in person versus just online. But obviously, feel free to continue to educate yourself on the products and the subjects. And with that, we're going to go ahead and say thanks for your time, and we will talk to you all soon. Thank you.